who is ready down on the grid ahead of Senior X30 qualifying Heat B versus C. And that is going to be the one to see later on. But eyes will focus on the X30 seniors as their engines have fired up and they make their way out onto the circuit. Let's take you through that full starting lineup, which will see the likes of Matthias van der Kerkhoff and Toby Gale on the front row of the grid. Jack Buckley and Angelo Melli go from row number 2. There we'll see Sebastian Mins with fresh tyres on board from Hugo Marti alongside Danny Carinini and Aaron Garcia. Two very big names there in the world of Miami X30 racing. The Italian and the Spaniard lockout row number 4. Kai Berg from Australia and Eloy Girardet of France going from row number 5. There we'll see Louis Caman and Santiago Alves on row number 6. Joaquin Pinto and Otto Pukkanen go from row 7. There we'll see Mathis Michel and Aaron Vida going from row number 8.
Part 2 of your field, row number 9 includes Marlon Bayer with Adrian Martinez. From row number 10, your top 20 includes Clement Autran with Gabriel Stilp. Keep an eye out on Stilp. We all know he's had great IWF success in previous years. Row number 11, it's Juno Clary with Lewis Bird. And from 12, we have Luca Mann with Robin Happenheim. 13, Felipe Carras with Raul Martinez. And then from 14, it's Daniel Schreier-Isa with Yves Riz. 15, Dennis Björk with Rafael Rayani. And from 16, it's Arav Dewan with Andre Davier. Rounding out your grid then, row number 17, 34 karts in total. We have Daniel Canova with Christian Funet.
Right, now this is going to be a fun one for Senior X30 because, well, cast your mind backs. Freddie Lloyd, Zach Drummond are your two drivers who have taken wins so far today in the Senior X30 category. And right now, we're about to see who will take the next one, as I think the front of the grid they're told to just slow it down a little bit here as they're heading into their formation stage now. The whole grid needs to get themselves bunched up. Now, the red line on the circuit for this one is down into the chicane, into that final sector. From that point onwards, no overtaking is permitted until they get across the start-finish line and they see the lights go out. There is Dan Ashton again trying to slow that grid down, which he does so now, which will see the likes of Matthias van der Kerkhoff and Toby Gale. Belgium versus Thailand on the front of the field for this one. Senior X30 qualifying Heat B versus C. It's moments away from seeing lights out. And are we racing? The answer is no. And they go round again. It's our first false start of the weekend.
Absolutely is. And we've got drama out there though. Anthony, the 2-2-4 circulating very slowly at the back of the grid. Lewis Bird of Great Britain on that Croc Promotion chassis. Looks like he's just going around very slowly at the back of the order. Not sure whether or not he has managed to get back into the field. It looks like now he could be weaving his way through the traffic once more. So just a bit of a technical gremlin by the looks of things for Bird, driver who also competed at IWF in 2024. Did not have great luck. Can he have some better luck this week?
Well, Lewis Bird, yes, it may say on your piece of paper there he's on a Croc, but he's not. Lewis Bird is running as a privateer this weekend. He's got no livery on his kart, and he's on a Kart Republic chassis at this moment, and drama has struck for him at the early stages of it.
Absolutely has. Like you called it a moment ago then, Anthony, we did have our first false start of the day, so these drivers just trying to keep those tyre temperatures up to speed, trying to maximise everything so that when we do hopefully go racing this time down in towards turn number 1, they can be fully committed on the grip, on the power, and try and pull something out the bag.
Well, speed nice and slow here now at the front of the grid as they head round the final corner into the tram lines. This time around, will we see a race start? As once again, Van der Kerkhoff and Gale build the revs for the lights to go out. We are racing down it towards turn number 1. It's a good start for Van der Kerkhoff. Gale there in second place, will drop down to third. As down the inside goes the Gillard there of Jack Butley, pushing his way through. Drama striking at the back of the field. Unfortunately, Gabriel Stilp out of the race. He will go no further, and that is on the start-finish straight, so that's a real shame for him. More dramas there as well. The 301 not circulating. That's a little further up the order. That's Louis Common as well, who's had an absolute disaster here and will not see the end of this race as drivers scrapping for position. Sebastian Mins trying to get involved in a fight here, but crucially cannot get that power down. Danny Carinini around the outside. He's slotted there quite nicely. You can see him there on the Zanchi Motorsport machine pushing his way forward. He's got the likes of Angelo Melli just around him on that PJM machine. Across the chicane they go. One cut, not seemingly taking that chicane as the victory lane tumbles down. That's Clement Utron who tries to get involved in that top fight. But crucially, it is still Van der Kerkhoff who leads the way and has already got a 1.1 seconds lead from Jack Buckley just behind. Danny Carinini all over the curbs there as he slots into fourth place. Angelo Melli now just behind as they head through in that infield section. Still, you'll see the likes of Sebastian Mins. In fact, I think it was Mins who may have missed the chicane on that previous lap. Girardet still there. From Aaron Garcia as well. So everyone's pushing their way through, and it can confirm it was Sebastian Mins who missed that chicane because he's just come up with a warning, investigation flag, I should say, for cutting the track. Down the back straight they go. Still, Van der Kerkhoff leads. That is the gap you can see there. But Gale's holding on to third place, but I suspect we'll have a little bit of work to do here. Because Danny Carinini is closed in. Down the inside is the MDC of Aaron Garcia. He's pushed his way up the order very nicely. He's just got past the likes of Alain Girardet, who has now stepped himself up to 7th in this race as Carinini sets the fastest lap of the race, is closing in on Gale, who's there, and he looks to the inside. It's Danny Carinini who immediately communicates to Gale to say, let's go forward, let's catch Buckley.
Carinini, then, we all know how well known he is within X30 racing, and now is trying to put his name at the top of the board for these heats. Ahead of Toby Gale now for the time being. Still looks incredibly quick and settled there in P4. Has not reduced speed to the drivers behind of Melli, Garcia and Mins, who now head in towards the chicane section, challenging each other. Mins being one of those to cut the track. Now then, he will fall down the order as now we've got continuous changes going on. This time it's between your drivers in P3. Danny Carinini fights his way past. Yeah,
that number 2 I was showing you there, Nicole, that was his second time off the track at that chicane for Sebastian Mins, and he's got to be really careful there into that final chicane. But yes, Carinini and Gale still trying to push their way forward up to Buckley as Aaron Garcia now sets the fastest lap of the race. Now he's all alone there on that MDC racing machine. The Spaniard starting to close in here. Carinini as well has closed in. Jack Buckley is not out of the woods yet on that Mick Barrett racing machine. He has got a lot of work to do here now as, everyone trying to push their way forwards here. We're seeing some quite interesting body language here going through the chicane. That's Clement Utron all in sorts of shape there, fighting away with Angelo Melli. He's just got that overtake done. Utron's now on a 12th place lead here as Danny Carinini gets up into second place.
Well, Clement Utron is on a 12th place, Glenn, but he has just cut the track at the final chicane like teammate of Mins did a moment ago. So is he going to be able to keep hold of those 12 places gained? I would say probably not. Carinini continues to keep the pace up nice and high, continues to be the fastest driver out there on the circuit. Drama now going out for another one of the names in the field. Will become a new name to add to the DNFs of Martinez, Rajani, Coman and Stilp as well. Eyes back on the top 10, which still includes Mins, Utron, Melli and Alves as well. And these challenges continuing to rage on between these drivers. Carinini now up into P2. Has really held on to this race very nicely. Has broken away from Gale and Buckley, who have traded positions. Mick Barrett Racing driver now has swapped out and reduced his fight up the order. Gale has got past, and Gale now inside of the top 3. Doesn't look like he's got the pace there, Anthony, to chase up to Carinini, who again goes fastest.
He does, but still, pace is very strong here at the front of the field for these drivers. Van der Kerkhoff doing the good job at the front. The gap now is to less than a second. Carinini has closed that gap in, and there's still actually quite a significant amount of time left in this race. So this is, I think, still feasibly possible here for Danny Carinini to close in. The question remains, though, does he push those tyres to the ragged edge to get that win in this race, knowing that, well, he's got many more races to come?
Well, I think, you know, conversations between him and Andrew Mather pre to this race down in the pre-grid, Carinini knows that his dry pace is incredibly strong, and he's a driver that is smooth on the wheel. He's going to be smart. He's not going to chew through that grip. I don't think Danny is going to be too worried about those tyres just yet. New drivers being put under investigation again for cutting the track. This time it's man, slightly further down in our field in P19, but he's now being looked at probably for the last chicane. Now then, the battle for P3 between Gale and Buckley is starting to reduce because Gale has given himself a little bit of breathing room there for that P3 spot. Buckley there looks settled, but looks like he could shortly be under pressure by Aaron Garcia. Garcia, haven't spoken about him too much within this race so far. Incredibly strong within X30 Racing, and now incredibly strong over the course of the past couple of laps, because it's really chasing up now onto the back bumper of that Mick Barrett.
Indeed, and still the progression here from the senior X30 grid in groups B and C has been fabulous here. So many drivers in this race have been able to push their way forward, like we were saying with Clement Outron, despite that drama at the chicane, but Lewis Bird as well, Philippe Carris, they've all gained multiple positions. Dennis Bojecki as well, 14 places. Andre Dabija also 14 places, as down the inside, again, drivers pushing their way forwards and fighting for positions. But there you're seeing the likes of Bernardo Calari there just going to 23rd place. Aaron Vida pushing his way back to 22nd place, but albeit down a little bit in that order. Time very quickly running out here. We're on lap number 9 at this moment, and the Gale Buckley-Garcia battle's looking interesting as Garcia sends it down the inside. Buckley's going to fight it back, though. Anything you can do, I can do better, says the Irishman. And the Mick Barrett Racing Machine holds on to position for just that little bit longer.
Well, I think Toby Gale has been given a little bit of saving grace with that one. We'll watch a short replay through the final corner. So this is when we have Mins cut the track at the chicane. So it gets caught out slightly with the drivers behind and has to cut over the corner as somebody out there. That's the 279.
Daniel Silya-Isa, that's a replay of the retirement.
Yeah, not happy with that at all. You can see visibly frustrated and actually damaged that front Nasso panel himself. So Try Isa not happy with that result. Eyes on this though, this could heat up very nicely then, Anthony. Danny Carinini still chasing, still on the charge for the race win. It's just under half a second that splits up him and Van der Kerkhoff. Not within lunging distance just yet, but still a little bit of time left for the Italian to try and get onto the back bumper, to try and give it a go. It was over 4.5 tenths. Now it's 3.5. He's really deploying something within this race.
Yeah, indeed. Looking very, very strong here as they head down the back straight. The last lap board will be out this time. Is Carinini going to go full bore on this one and try and go for that race win in this first one? Last lap board comes out. The gap's down to 0.3 of a second. It's Van der Kerkhoff versus Carinini, who will take the win in their first senior race of the day for groups B and C. As well, Van der Kerkhoff seemingly under control of this one, but Carinini still pushing as hard as it can. You saw a big hit of the old curbs there through the chicane of turns 3 and 4 as they wind it now through the revolutions of the kart in towards turn number 11. This is a big overtaking opportunity, but not this time around for Karanini. He might save something for that final chicane, but something tells me it will be Van der Kerkhoff who will take this one. I think Karanini will be delighted still with a P2 finish here as he makes his way into that final chicane. It will be Van der Kerkhoff out of the final corner. He's done it. Mateusz Van der Kerkhoff takes the win ahead of Danny Karanini. Toby Gale from Aaron Garcia. Jack Buckley finishes in 5th place ahead of Sebastian Mintz. Clement Outram from Lewis Bird. Marlon Bayer from Angelo Melli, who rounds out the top 10 as the field make their way back to Parc Ferme.
They absolutely do, and some impressive drives throughout that entire race, I would say then, Anthony, by the likes of Clement Outram, who gained 12 places in total. Lewis Bird with 14, Marlon Bayer with 8, Philippe Carras with 14, Dennis Bjerk with 14 as well. A bit of a, everybody likes to make up 14 places within that one. So some big movers, some great racing from our last group of X30 seniors for today, led through the entirety by Mateusz Van der Kerkhoff, who will enter into Parc Ferme for those technical checks as your provisional race winner. Anthony called it. It was ahead of Danny Karanini and Toby Gale as your top 3. And then we had Aaron Garcia, Jack Buckley, Sebastian Mintz, Clement Outram, Lewis Bird, Marlon Bayer and Angelo Melli as your top 10. Your top 15 looked like Philippe Carras, Santiago Alves, Abba Girardet and Otto Pukkanen.